welcome to the Keystone Experience. Rob Warwick
and Matt Pitzer.
Brought to you by Creek Archery. Find your passion and hunt it down.
And Hillview Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, Hillview has it in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, we got a special guest with us tonight, Mr. Bill Duke from Duke Traps. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, and thanks for having me on. It's been about a year since we visited the time before, right?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we had Alan with us.
Yeah, and I'm sure Alan was a good guest. I hope I can come somewhat close to that, but you know, it's that's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, we've been seeing Alan at quite a bit of shows this year. I mean, we're all going to be out at the PTA convention or the rendezvous this year, so yeah, Matt's actually going to be able to make it. What's that?
I said I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, you know what? I had fun last year. The only thing is driving up there and then having to drive right back home. That, you know, we're coming up this time. We're staying all 3 days.
Yeah, it's always a good time. Even the smallest attendance PTA is still a good show. And I think might be somewhat in the north central part of the state. I think it's going to really bring a lot of people in. Yeah.
Well, was you just down at the NWTF?
I was there for one day. We drove up there on Thursday, and I was around for most of the day Friday. Oh gosh, if nobody, I'm sure some of your viewers have been there, and it is such a crowd. 10 o'clock Friday morning, we have a saying, you couldn't stir them with a stick. There were so many people in the aisles walking through.
Yeah, I think next year me and Matt might try to get to that. You know, we've done Harrisburg for the last couple of years. I'd really like to get down to Nashville to the NWTF.
Oh, it's way bigger. I went last year for a few days and then went back this year. Wish I had more time to stay, but we just didn't. I had to get back. But it was well attended, and you know, one of the neat things about the group of turkey hunters, they are really on board with trapping now. It's one of the biggest themes of the whole show is what people can do to reduce predation on the turkeys and the turkey nest. And trappers are really a hero in their eyes, and a lot of them want to join up and be trappers, and they are doing that.
That's what we need. We need more guys that want to get into it.
Yeah, I was real pleased to see the Tennessee Fur Harvesters were there. John Daniel was there from the NTA. There were a couple other dealers that had some trapping supplies. So if somebody was interested in picking up supplies for some last minute nest predation trapping, they can do that up there. And I think there was a lot of interest in doing that.
Do you feel like lately the trapping is on the upswing, that it's starting to become more people involved with it, or still kind of leveled out?
I think we're seeing some growth in people coming in to being trappers, and they may come in from other areas like deer hunters and turkey hunters. I really think that's where the growth is coming from now. When they see their numbers affected, the turkey numbers, they really want to do something about it. And it'd be nice if the fur market was a good driver, but with coon prices where they are, people just have to find a different reason to get involved in trapping, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, we got a couple of young fellas this year. We had Matt's boys running a trap line this year.
And how old are they?
They are 10 and 8.
That's a good age. Yeah, they're old enough to understand and fully participate in setting traps and enjoying it.
Yeah, I was super proud. So today was actually our last day of the season. So kind of a sad day. We had to go pull all the traps today, but I was super impressed with them all year. You know, getting up early, going checking in the dark, whether it was in the morning or after school or after scouts or basketball. And my buddy's farm's not super big, but by the time we get done walking it, we'd have a mile and a half, almost 2 miles of walking in. And for the most part, they did not complain too terribly.
Well, they're getting a good experience and something that they're going to have forever.
Yeah, and they really did enjoy it, and they're excited for next year. And one of the coolest things I've done, this was, Rob took the time out of his days and schedule to show me and them how to do it because it was my first year, really trapping too. And it was fun, and especially with the boys, getting phone calls from them, hey, did we catch anything today? No, not today. To, the first time we caught a red fox, watching my oldest run back to the truck because my youngest one didn't want to walk that night. And he's sprinting down the driveway yelling, we got a fox, we got a fox. Oh, it was fun. And, they got to do pretty much everything. They're still a little small.
Yeah.
To actually set a 550, but they can bet them and they get everything else done. But I didn't quite trust them
I know they'll appreciate
have the strength to hold that down and set the dog. And I didn't feel like watching them get their finger caught.
Well, they got to see that firsthand because I did it in front of them on a nice cold morning. I set a 550 off on my own hand. I'm still one of them guys that believes in just taking your hand and, rubbing the top of the set to make everything nice and level instead of using a feather or a whisk broom. Mm-hmm. And I just forgot that I kind of, filed my little night latches down just a little bit more than I should have, and just that little extra oomph set it off on my hand, and they heard a few choice words.
Yeah, I'm sure so. We all remember the first trap we ever got caught in, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Mine was a dog proof, believe it or not.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, why I stuck my finger down in there after I loaded it. But I was by myself. That was really fun trying to get out of it.
Yeah, those narrow wires are really painful. I mean, a 110 is a hard one to get caught in too.
Yeah.
It stings.
Yep. So what do we got new coming out this year?
Yeah, that's one of the things I was wanting to talk with you guys about because I think it's going to be something the Pennsylvania guys have really been needing for a long time. It's a 450 Pro Series. We're going to have two models. One is an offset and one is we call an FJ for full jaw. It's a closed jaw model. Some guys need that, and the offset probably be more popular, but the closed jaw one, I think there'll be a lot of people that find a benefit in using that in blind sets. And I actually brought some home with me so I can show you on camera just what these things look like. So this would be the 450 FJ, the full jaw version. It's got smooth, rounded jaws. It's got a stainless steel dog. It's got a center swivel, inline swivel. So it's got really 3 swivel points in it.
Okay.
It's really a strong trap for this size.
Rob, do you want me to get you a napkin?
Yeah.
You're drooling a little bit over there, buddy.
And
I can't wait to get some of these in the ground.
It's really a flat setting trap. I think it's going to find a welcome home on a lot of trappers in PA. It's really something we should have done a long time ago, but we didn't know there was that much demand for it out there, but when we made a few announcements, I know Todd Strohecker got one and tested it out a little bit for us. And when he put a post out there, it went crazy. We were having guys from Pennsylvania and the eastern states blowing up our inbox, wanting to know, can I pre-order these? When can I get them? And how much are they going to be? All that. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, Todd, I think I seen a post that Todd put up.
Yep.
And I messaged Todd right away. I was like, man, that thing looks like it's going to be fun. I said, I can't wait to get a hold of some.
Yeah. I've got the offset version in my hands now. This has got a little bit of an offset gap there, but like the regular full jaw, really a smooth casting, one that, and it's a wide casting, one that you're not going to have foot damage, and it's the best of everything a trapper would want, and it's easy on the animal too.
Man, I tell you what. So when are those going to be released, or do you have a date yet?
We do. We're saying 1st of June, which will be in plenty of time for the PTA convention and the FTA. If it's a little bit earlier than that, then all the better. We'll get those in dealer hands and they'll be available. I don't think there's any need for anybody to try to reserve any. We have plenty planned already. But we think it's one that the PA guys are going to really, really gravitate to.
Yeah, what do you think, Rob?
I want to go and get some now.
So what would the benefits of the 450 be over a 550 for those that are just getting into trapping? Why is this going to be so beneficial for us?
Well, for the fox, that's the big thing. And it's plenty stout for the coyote. I think for guys that are in areas where there's a mix of coyote and fox, I think it's one you set with confidence and you say it's going to catch every fox and it's going to be easy on the fox, but it'll also catch every coyote, and it's plenty strong that it will hold everyone that gets in it. In talking with trappers in the East that have a mixed population of coyotes and fox, that's always their concern. If we set a 550, we're worried that it's going to cause a little bit more foot damage on that fox that we really don't want. But with this one, you've got the assurance that it's very, very easy on that fox.
Yeah, and I can attest to it. And it's like I said, this was my first year, so I'm still learning all of this. And I did see it because one of the red foxes that we caught one in a cable, and then we did catch the other one in a 550. And comparing it to the damage I was seeing on the coons from the dog proof, you could definitely see more foot damage with that big 550 on that. And it was a smaller female.
Yeah, she was small.
Yeah. So once again, if you match the target animal with a 450, you're gonna have much better results, I think, in those states where you've got that mixed population.
Yeah, and that's why we had the 550s out, because Western Pennsylvania, we've got kind of a mix of everything: red fox, gray fox, coyotes. Deer, my enemies, even more now. Yeah,
we had deer stepping in them things all the time.
Yeah, they're going to set them off. They're going to set them off, but rarely would they be there long. They pull right out of it. The deer will, but I think that's what we do is we come out with these type traps that meet the needs of that region, and if we do what we think we've got here, it's going to be something people are going to want to buy some.
I know we're going to push them like crazy when I want to see guys. I mean, I've had a lot of guys ask me, and they go to Rural King and get them because Rural King has Duke traps there. Yeah, and I've switched a lot of guys over to the dog proofs that you guys make. And Guys are loving them. And they're an easy way to get a kid out there. I tell everybody, start your kid out on raccoons. Go to the dollar store, buy some mini marshmallows and half dozen of dog proofs and just let them have at it.
Yeah, I think about all the people that have gotten involved in trapping and they do it through a DP. It just makes it so easy to be successful and starting out. Even if it's a youngster, they're interested in seeing results, and it's an easy trap to sit out and be successful very, very often the first night.
Yep.
We might call it a gateway trap.
Yeah.
They get involved in it, and then when they get good at trapping coons in a DP, they move on to foot traps, and they get good at that. It really makes me happy when I see people that previously had no trapping experience whatsoever, they see the benefits of trapping, they get involved in it, and maybe they have a few misses, and when they take a few lessons from trappers that can give them pointers on things that they maybe need to consider, it's like they get it. They really get it, and then they become really successful in as a trapper. And that's what we need. We need more people getting involved and learning about this stuff, because let's face it, if we're going to survive in the trapping world, we've got to have new people getting involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah, we do need to get the youth involved I think we need to get the youth involved in all outdoor sports, away from the TVs, away from the cell phones. But that's a different conversation we can have.
Well, it's not just trapping that are affected that way. It's hunters too. You're seeing less younger people getting involved in hunting, but it's still hanging in there, and people are finding reasons to take up hunting. I mean, just me, for example, I never was a big hunter. I hunted a little bit with some of my friends when I was a lot younger, but one of my buddies told me this past year, he says, "Bill, it's really a shame. You're 50 years old and you never killed a deer." I said, "It's about time you get out there and start doing something." And so he took me out, and we had a few days where we didn't see anything, and then finally we had some success. So it was a good experience, and one that I'm really appreciative of, that somebody took the time to take me out. And I do the same thing for anybody that was interested in trapping.
Mm-hmm. So, are there any? I'm not a big water trapper, so I tried this year to catch my first mink, and I found out that the Duke #1s will hold a 17-pound raccoon.
Oh yeah, #1.
I mean, I got there that morning. Coil.
Yeah.
I had a pocket set for mink right underneath the bridge, and a pocket set across from that one on the opposite side of the creek. And I got there that morning. I had a double with 2 raccoons in it.
Oh, yeah.
And did not catch a mink this season, but had 3 of them hit on the road right by the property I was trapping. So we'll get them next year.
Yeah. Do you have much experience with mink trapping, or is it one of the first times you're trying?
It's the first time. I got Chris Bergman, and I was texting Alan every day, and he's like, "Man," he said, "You're impatient." He's like, "Give him mink a chance." I'm like, "Dude, I want results now."
Yeah. Well, you'll get it. I mean, you've got a good population around your part of the state, so you should catch one.
Yeah, I'm impatient when it comes to that. I guess I was one of those trappers that got lucky. I got my first coyote the first night I set a trap for a coyote. First time I set for a red fox with a regular trap, a foothold, I caught one. This year was the first time I ever caught a red fox in a cable restraint.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I've caught, I don't know, hundreds of raccoons in them things. I get so mad because they destroy a $30, cable. Little fat
Yeah.
raccoon gets in there and gets it all twisted up, and then you got to throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys have to use the cable restraints that have the deer stops and the breakaway, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And I've been buying those off of Alan,
Yep.
trying to help him out with that new business he has.
Oh yeah.
But do you, besides we're gonna go off of the trapping subject here because Duke is a pecan company, right?
Yeah, that's one of our traditional businesses is pecans. It really started as a little side business with my grandparents. They had a little grocery in different places around this town, and it was something they could trade in. So with a lot of yard trees, probably like you guys would know places where there are black walnuts that just grow wild, and pecans are somewhat like that. They're wild pecan trees that produce native pecans, and a lot of yard trees around this area where somebody's just got a tree in their yard. They go and pick those up and then would bring into my grandparents' store and sell by the pound. So back in the 30s, that was a side business they started doing, picking up. People would pick up pecans, bring in and sell to them, and they made a little spread, just buying and selling. And then there was a time in the 60s and 70s when that became a really big part of what we do. It's something we still do, but the volume is significantly less than it was back at that time.
That's interesting.
So my grandparents, they also bought fur in the back of that store, and just an additional something they could sell from people in the area that maybe went out and did some coon hunting or did a little trapping. And of course, that business really grew and it was quite significant back in the 70s and 80s. It was a special time where trappers really made more money than they trapping than they could working a 40-hour week at a factory. Some of the old timers, they tell stories like that. Yeah, gosh, when I was back in high school, we used to trap, and gosh, I made enough money to buy a new car. Stuff like that. That really made a big memory on those people involved.
I know when I started, when I was 12 years old, my grandfather started me on his farm, and I made enough money to go buy a 30-30.
It's a really good way for people to start earning a little extra money and partially pay for their hobby.
Yep. I bought my first deer hunting rifle, a box of shells, and a scope, and I still had $250 left over, and I was 12 years old, man. I was like living.
Oh yeah, that was a good experience. I know.
And then, I mean, it stayed that way for a while, and then it just started slowly. You could see the market going down.
Yeah.
And then this year, like I've been watching the fur sales here in PA, and it seems like skunks are like the number one animal this year. They're doing $25.
Yeah, I've heard that was a special case. The skunk market apparently being a little niche market, and there are not that many of them. It can go high.
Yeah, there was I run into Dave Eccles yesterday, and he was telling me that it was craft people that were buying these skunk hides.
Yep.
And then the fur buyers were getting mad because they're like, we can't pay that kind of money for a skunk hide. And hey, whoever wants to give $25 for a skunk, I'll tell you what, I'll go catch them all day long.
Yeah, that's just it.
And I didn't catch a single skunk this year.
I didn't either, and I was happy about that.
Yeah.
I was wanting him and the boys to catch one.
We had one on the property, and it walked by footholds and dog proofs way more often than I wanted it to.
Yeah.
You know, being the first year, I don't want to deal with that one. I can't lie. I have no urge. Maybe next year when I have a little bit more knowledge. But no, I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with that because I don't know how to deal with it, and there's consequences to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might not be able to come home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I forget when you guys visited with Alan, but we had a little trip out to Kansas. He had a project out there. He was trapping some coons for his show, and of course, you're going to get some skunks. It doesn't matter what you do; you're going to get a skunk here and there. So while we were running the line, Alan pulls up and he's like, "Well, we got a skunk and we got 4 coons." And he says, I'm going to go ahead and kill the skunk first. And I said, Alan, don't do that, man. Don't. And he says, he's like, oh yeah. He says, I know right where to target it. He says, it won't spray. Guess what? It sprayed. It sprayed, and it was not good at all. I tried to tell him, I said, Alan, take care of the coons first. And let us all leave the scene before you take a shot at the skunk. And he insisted on taking a shot at the skunk first. And I just don't get it. I tried to talk him out of it. He would not listen. And we all paid a serious price for that.
How many days was it before things kind of got back to normal?
Well, we walked away from it, and the smell just drifted all toward us. I don't think we were badly affected, but gosh, it just lingers so bad anywhere that was within a few hundred feet, and we were probably 500-600 feet away, and it was not a pleasant smell. But that's all part of skunks.
Hopefully, it was his truck you guys had.
It was his truck, yeah, and another guy's truck. And
well, the worst part of that is then you had to go back and deal with the raccoons you already caught.
Well, I'll let them deal with that because when he took a shot at that skunk, a couple of us, we got out of the way as quick as we could. But it still followed us. Yeah.
Well, that's a problem. You ran so fast that it brought a backdraft with you.
I'm not sure it was that, but I think the winds were pretty unfavorable, and it followed us. It was chilly out there. You know, I'm from areas where we don't really tolerate the cold all that well. So out there, they didn't think it was very, very cold, but we jumped in the other guy's truck, cranked it up, turned the heat on. Well, you know, it just sucked it right in. And then we decided, hey, we better turn this off and get out because it seemed like it was stronger with that heat coming in the truck than it was outside. Yeah.
Now, speaking of weather, what has your weather been like down there recently? Has it been as wild, as crazy as it seems to have been in the rest of the country?
We had some really cold weather here back in January. It was it got into the single digits and really messed things up. Had some ice on the road. Fortunately, I was out of town at the time and didn't get firsthand experience, but I heard about it. It was there was ice on the road, and really around here, I know probably in your area people are prepared for it, but here it's just better because for people to stay home and not get out. If they get out, they end up crashing, and it's a real mess around the South when that happens.
Yeah, our people up here that have lived in it their whole life, they don't do very good in it. I mean, we got some snow the other day, and it was a friggin' mess. People should just stay home. they don't know how to drive in and stay home.
Yeah. Well, all our people in the office, it was just the safe thing to do was to just let everybody be off. And basically that whole week that it iced over, the week was just shot. Nobody could get anything done. The truck lines didn't go. UPS didn't run. And you just say it's one of those weeks.
You guys aren't like Texas. You guys got heaters and stuff in the houses, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
I know Texas. Texas don't have a lot of houses don't have furnaces and stuff in them down there.
Yeah, I don't know what the breakdown is around here, but a lot of people, if they've got natural gas, they'll have natural gas heating and air units. We don't need a lot of heat, but when we do need it, that seems to take care of it.
So back to the trapping supplies. You guys carry just about everything you need, you know?
Well, we try to carry a lot of things that are the basics that people would need as they start taking up trapping. I say we don't carry everything, but we do carry the basics. All the different traps we have, whether they're 40 something models that we sell now, and the accessories. If somebody's interested in starting up a light trap line, we've got swivels and sifters and sod busters, gloves, boots, the basics. Not everything, but the basics somebody would want to get started.
That's the other thing we got last year. We bought some of the number 2 dogless traps.
Oh, yeah.
And ran a bunch of them this year, too. No coyotes this year. We didn't catch any coyotes, so we didn't get to put them to the test. But the year before, the coyotes I caught with the 550s, great. I mean, deep pad catches. I mean, and I started using a lot of trench sets, and I've been noticing I'm getting them way up on the ankles now with them, and I love them. Them things hold them and they don't let go.
Yeah. Well, that dogless design has got a big following out there, and it's a pretty nice looking trap. The way it just beds, and it is so flat.
Yep.
I mean, you have a hard time finding a trap that sets as flat as that does.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to pull them out of the box and just boil them and dye them and run them. You don't have to do a whole lot of adjusting. I know other guys that, they'll fiddle around with their traps and stuff like that. I'm not a big messing around with pan tension. If I can set it off with my thumb, I'm happy with it. I don't have to, most of my sets, a dog is going to be going in there anyhow.
Yeah.
And he's going to throw all his body weight on his front legs going into it. So it doesn't matter how tight you got him set or how loose you got him set. He's going to get caught.
Yeah.
And they hold, I've been using the Duke products for a long time, and I have no complaints about any of the products I get from you guys.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because what we're trying to do is come up with new things that have less that needs to be done to them. It used to be everybody that bought a dozen traps, and a lot of times people still do this. They buy a dozen traps, and then they say, what can I do to it? It's almost like people that buy trucks, and then they find a lot of accessories or modifications they want to do to that. And people still do that with those number 2 dogless and 550s and 650s and others, but there's less they feel like they need to do to it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have one complaint with that number 2 dogless. He said about how it lays flat.
Yeah.
It lays too flat because I had to use a metal detector to find one that I left in a field somewhere.
It blended in.
It lays too flat.
Find it. Oh gosh.
What? Yeah. Well, it was also partially my buddy. It's my buddy's farm, and we had a storm coming in, so he decided to clean out the barn before the snow come in, he took it all up to the field and dumped all the manure up there, and then he really buried it for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I got to spend 30, 40 minutes with a metal detector sifting through looking for that flat laying number 2 Douglas. But I did find it.
Yep. Well, good thing.
Yeah, we don't have one casualty this year. We had a coon take off with a number 1.
Yeah.
Because somebody wired it down instead of anchoring it.
I don't know who that was.
It was my fault. I was trying for a mink, and I wired it to a rock that I thought was big enough for a mink. I never expected a coon to step in it and take off with it. But I believe we caught that coon.
Yeah, that's
I believe we caught him.
They don't have a memory, and so you can often, if they're hanging around the area, you can often catch them again.
Yeah, we did a thing. Do you ever talk to Alan? What is his last name? Alan, the guy who does the Chernobyl egg, raccoon egg.
Right.
We just did a podcast with him, and it was funny because it's the first time I heard. I always call raccoons a little fat kid at the birthday party. They're not going to leave that trap until the last bit of food's gone, And he said that a raccoon will look at that egg, see a cricket, eat the cricket, look back at that egg, like, where did it come from? It wasn't there a second ago. He said they got what do you say, ADHD?
Yeah.
And I just about bust out laughing doing the podcast with him. Now that's all I think of every time I see, that Chernobyl egg is a raccoon with ADHD.
Yeah, they can't resist that. They want to go for it every time.
And to be honest with you, we're using them too with the dog, the Dukes, just to keep the food dry. The way our season's been this year up here, rainy and nasty, So we bought us a dozen of them, and I'll tell you what, they work. They work. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, it's interesting how if you've got multiple methods working, you tend to get success. And it's hard to say just what exactly it is, but having multiple things going, if you got the right kind of food, you got something that they see that they want to go for, something is going to get their attention, and you got a greater probability of catching that animal when you've got multiple tools at work.
And the only thing I'm doing next year is I'm painting all my dog proofs fluorescent orange.
Russian orange.
Fluorescent orange.
Oh, fluorescent orange, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was trapping along a creek this year, and the creek flooded a lot because of the rain we were getting.
Yeah.
And when I'd go back through, they'd be all covered, with weeds and mud. And I figure if I paint them fluorescent orange, I'll be able to find them a little easier.
Yeah, that should do it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're going to try.
All right. So now we've talked a lot this episode about the new 450, foxes, coyotes, and raccoons. You guys got a whole other line, for beavers and muskrats and, stuff Valley Cat. Why don't you give us a little breakdown of what people can get if they're looking to get into water trapping?
Yep. So in water trapping, the body traps is one of the easiest tools to start using, and we've got the whole spectrum from the smallest 110, that's a 4.5-inch jaw spread. We've got a 160, that's a 6-inch jaw spread, a 220. Which is a 7-inch jaw spread. That's a little bit big for what you guys can use in PA on ground, I'm sure. And then the 330, we do have a 280. Those are 8-inch, 330s, a 10-inch. So the broad spectrum from 4.5 inches all the way up to 10 inches, that covers the muskrat all the way up to the beaver.
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit more next year, Rob, the muskrats.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's another, one that you can get the kids involved with because you got to catch them.
Yeah, and you can take 30 110s and carry them in a bucket, and they can just set them just about anywhere.
Yeah. How's the muskrat population in your part of the state?
Our creek, I got a creek right here in the neighborhood, and it's not too good with the muskrats this year. couple of the ponds around, I've had guys ask me halfway through the season if I'd trap them, and I told them, yeah, I'll do it next year. But our muskrat population, it's down. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah, I hear that a lot of places around the country. I'm not sure where you would say it's growing or it's holding its own, but there's certainly a lot less muskrats most places when I talk with people.
The other thing I want to do next year is I want to get into the beaver trap, and we can probably still go throw a few beaver sets out because that's till the end of March. But I've never done it, and I'd rather go with somebody who does.
Well, Dave Eccles would be the man to go with. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a holler. I was talking to him about coming down there and fleshing some raccoons with him, bringing the boys down and let him show them how to do it.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you guys would really, really enjoy that. Dave and I have been friends for years, and he most years he didn't get to come down this year, but most years he comes down to Mississippi and does some beaver trapping. Been doing that for, gosh, probably 20 something years. It's like his vacation.
Yeah, that's what he told me when I run into him yesterday, that he didn't go down.
Yeah. Yeah, but he says he's planning on coming back next year. He's a hard-working guy. He's got a lot of things going on all the time. I know the guys missed him coming down, but he's a super trapper. I got a lot of respect for that man.
That's what we said. We talked to AJ Arvin yesterday, and we were saying that yesterday. The trapping industry is like everybody knows each other and everybody supports each other. It's like one big family. You don't get a bunch of arguing about this season, arguing about that season like you do with deer hunters and rabbit hunters and pheasant hunters. We all get along.
Well, it's what we have to do. Yeah, we have to get along, because if we don't, there may not be trapping. So, I've been real happy to see what Dave has done with the fur takers and their education that they do at the Fur Taker College. That's if somebody's got the time to do that, that will take a good trapper and make that trapper so much more advanced. They really
I was going to sign up for it.
Yeah, you would get so much out of going to that class. I believe it's a week long, and they just go from one end to the other on species, telling you about different sets. They try to match you with an instructor that explains things on your level, depending on where you come into the class from.
We might have to look into that one there, buddy.
I got Mr. Eccles looking into it for us already.
You might have to. I mean, and that's the cool thing is they have stuff like that. And, you just said it, and I thought of this right now. You said, the trapping community all kind of stick together. The one thing I didn't hear at all from really anybody, we've talked to a lot of different people in a lot of different states, is there's not the bickering of you use this trap, that's a junk product, I want this one. Kind of like when you see guys complaining about trad bows, regular bows, and crossbows, and then rifle hunters.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that much this year.
Nope.
Talking to different people. It was more, hey, how you doing? What are you catching? What are you doing? Try this, try that. See if that helps.
Yep.
Yeah, I see a little bit of bickering, that back and forth with people. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But there's another event that takes place around not far from where you guys are, and that's Don Powell's Minktoberfest. And if you ever get the chance to go to that, you should do it. It is one of the best group of trappers you'll ever meet. And I think it's about, like you explained, it's a group of trappers that they respect everybody's opinion. some guy might have a different opinion, but everybody's respected and everybody can get up and talk about their techniques, explain why they do things. I mean, you don't have to absolutely agree and go out and do the same thing they do, but you give the guy the same level of respect he would give you if you got up and talked about something.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that's a real special event that takes place in early October, just up at Punxsutawney.
Yeah, that's a couple hours from here.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
I even have a camp we can go to. My buddy's got a camp about 10 minutes outside of town.
Well, there you go. We'll have to go up, then. We'll have to see. You going to go up, Bill?
I try to be there every year. Yeah.
What about Alan? We'll have to see if Alan's going to be there.
Yeah, Alan was there this past year. He had a good time. He didn't stay the full time, but he was there for a few days and enjoyed it. You know, I've got so much respect for Don Powell and putting that group together. He has such a good heart, and bringing people in that are interesting, that share their techniques, talk about interesting topics. If you don't learn anything when you go to that, it's really your own fault. You're going to learn something when you go there, and it's like a brethren when you've got people from all over the country that come in and share their experiences. And Don, gosh, he's got such a good heart to do that.
Yeah, that's why I want to get Matt and the boys to go to a few of these rendezvous this year. We're going to try to go we're definitely going to the PTA. I wanted to go to the FTA, but I don't know. I mean, these guys might not be able to go because that's a week before PTA. But, I pretty much come and go and do what I want at work. So I might not just show up for 3 days and go down to the FTA.
Yeah, I'm going to make it one after the other. I'll be up there for both.
Yeah, Alan was telling us what he said you guys were going to rent a big tent. He said you guys were going to be in a big tent instead of out in the building.
Yeah, that's the general idea, that we're going to have a big tent and set up there. There are a number of dealers that do that anyway, and we just decided to combine with them and have a big tent.
So where we'll be hanging out then for 3 days. We'll be with Bill and Alan, and we'll hang out with the cool guys.
Yeah, in the tent. Yeah.
No, I just had a question pop into my head, so this could be dangerous. It's not terrible. I'm curious, what was the process of coming up with that 450? Was it a fairly simple process to come up with it because you guys have been doing it for so long, or did a lot of research and development go into producing that new trap?
I wouldn't say there was a lot that went into the 450. The basis of the Pro Series started with the 550, and then we built up on it from there to the 650 to the 850, and the 450 is in the same category, a step down. We wanted to do some things with that made it a smoother trap, recognizing people are going to use it on lighter animals. We're putting a square pan on it and smoothing the jaws out. So those were the critical things in the development of the 550. But the other things, you mentioned on trap development, the things that we really had to spend a lot of time on were when we developed the 850, and we had multiple revisions, because as you get into a bigger trap for a bigger animal that can do more damage to that trap when it's caught, you want to make sure it's got a lot more durability than a smaller jaw spread trap. So, regarding the 450, I don't think it took a lot. compared to the 650 and the 850, which are for significantly stronger animals.
You know what we got to get?
What's that?
They make a bear trap.
We're not allowed to trap bears.
I don't care. I want one. I want to weld it and put it up where my doorbell is. That way, when somebody comes on my porch and rings my doorbell, they got to stick their hand through that bear trap first. But it'll be welded so they don't get hurt. Make them think twice about ringing my doorbell.
Yeah, there are people that do that. They'll take that trap and open it, take the tension out of the springs, so heat up the springs to take the tension out, and then weld the jaws open so it's fixed like that. It's quite a spectacle, to come into an area and see that trap wide open.
I think I sent you a video of us out at the butcher shop with the one that my buddy Dennis has. We took a cow leg and stuck in there, and I'll tell you what, man, that was scary. I was the guy putting the cow leg down in there.
Yeah.
It was an interesting slow motion video of that trap going off on that cow leg. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's quite a spectacle setting one of those off. We don't ever do anything like that because I don't want to give anybody too many ideas that they might get hurt with.
Yeah.
I mean, so some guys come up with enough ideas on their own that they're going to get hurt with. I don't want to add to that.
Yeah, but I never posted it on Facebook or anything because I feel the same way. I don't want to be responsible for somebody getting hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, but the majority of those traps are never used. They're just wall hangers or decorative items, and we sell several of them every year for people that just like to decorate a cabin with. I mean, I think every log cabin should have one at least.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely going to order one so I can have one for here at the house. So, man, that hour went quick.
Are we? Gosh, I know that's the way all these podcasts go. You start them and it seems like 10 minutes and you're already at an hour, right?
So you want to let everybody know how they can get a hold of Duke Traps?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be glad to. We do have a retail program where trappers and any individual that wants to buy traps can contact us directly. You can get our contact off our website, duketraps.com. And additionally, if it's convenient for somebody to pick up those from a dealer, there are a lot of very good dealers in the Pennsylvania area. You can of course stop by any dealer's establishment and pick up something and try the trap out, just see how it functions and make your decision hands on.
Yeah, we got the fur dealer right out there in Crabtree. They carry your traps. Rural King.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
I don't like Rural King because they never have them.
Yeah, I know. Every time we go in there with a trap in mind that we want to grab, and they're sold out.
They're always sold out.
So I end up buying other traps. That's where I bought all my mink traps this year. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy. I bought every one they had on the shelf. I'm here. I'm just buying them. That way I have them all. So now I got a bunch of number one coil springs hanging outside, rusting up for next year. And what else we got there, buddy?
I don't know, but back to Rural King quick. I didn't feel bad. Somebody was sleeping. He was looking at dog proofs. They only had 3 left, and I needed 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
He walked by and was thinking about it, and I saw that in his eye, and I went and grabbed him and walked the other way. You'll have to wait for the next shipment to come in.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many places people can pick up traps, from sporting goods to trap and supply houses that may be in your area. And I say whatever works best for you. But there's nothing like putting your hands on something and seeing how it feels and snapping it if you feel like it, just to decide if that's exactly what you want.
And we give away 2 dozen of traps every year at the Chico Outdoors. We give away to 4 kids. We give 6 dog proofs to 2 individuals, and then we give out 6 110s to each individual. So you can stop and see us at Chico Outdoors if you want to get some Duke traps. Bill, I appreciate your being on here with us, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. It was nice to have video with it too. I think last year we were just on the phone talking, and
yep,
I like what you guys are doing, and glad you continue to do it. You live in
I appreciate
that. Well, you guys live in a state where you've got a lot of support out there for trapping, and you make those ideas known to people.
Yeah, we try. We try to get the youth involved, and with sponsors like you guys, it makes it a little easier for us to get out there and do what we get to do.
Yeah.
And when we started this all, I said to Matt, I said that we got Duke with the help of Doug and Chris and Alan, and we appreciate them guys, and they're always on board, and you guys are on board, and you support us. I text you or message you, and you answer me right back, and that's what we want in our group of people that we deal with,
Yep. Direct people that get things done, right?
That's it. That's it. So.
Well, hang out with us here, buddy, for a couple more minutes. We got to get some bills paid here.
Yeah, we got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
Creek Archery. Find your passion, then hunt it down. Hey, stop down and see Chris DePerna and the gang down there at Creek Archery for all these great deals on all the new archery products. Stop in and see them. They got some motorcycle, bicycle, electric things coming in there. They got a bunch of tree stands, them saddles. I guess they're not for horses. You hang off the side of a tree with these things. So stop down there, check these guys out down at Creek Archery, and tell them the Keystone Experience sent you.
We got Hillview Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. From new, used, certified, pre-owned. Stop in and see any one of the fantastic sales team. They'll get you into your new vehicle before you know it. Head back to the service center to get it worked on. If it needs oil changes, brakes, anything goes wrong, they'll get it fixed up for you. If you've hit one of these unfortunate critters, stop back to the Collision Center, certified to work on many makes and models, not just what they sell on the lot. They'll have that vehicle back up, looking brand new, thanks to the Collision Center and the detail shop. Check out all the inventory at hillviewmotors.com, and remember, Hillview has it.
Hey, Duke Traps. From Nest Raiders all the way up to Wolves. Get yourself some of the Duke Traps. The Pro Series, you're looking at the 450, the 550, the 650. Get these things, put them in the ground, get your kids some of those DP dog proofs to catch some trash pandas, as we like to call them, Rickies. Get the kids started, get them a bag full of marshmallows and turn them loose, and look out, you're going to have a good time out there. Duke Traps, check them out, tell them the boys from the Keystone Experience sent you.
And we got your buddy,
Deer P. Dave.
With Apparition Sense. What do they say about it?
It is 100% lethal.
And it is something that we truly believe in. Been using it for years. From the Phantom Hunter, the soap, shampoo, laundry, you name it.
Yep.
Then you get to that special time of year, which is any time.
Right now, you should be putting your mock scrapes up. Get your Undertaker and Nightmare out there. And now, to make it a little less messy, he got
the hemp rope.
The hemp rope infused with the Nightmare. So, a lot less messy. You don't have to drip this stuff all over yourself. Take a rake with you, scratch the ground, throw a little dirt in there, tie a rope on, zip tie it onto a limb, get out of there, put a camera on it, and let it do its work.
And you're set to go, and that time of the year comes around. Don't forget about your Deer Pete, the Inferno, 100% estrus, certified hot.
Certified hot.
And it will get the job done for you. Check out the whole lineup at apparitionsense.com. We have Chico Outdoors. Chico Outdoors is a nonprofit organization promoting outdoor recreational activities to kids and veterans. It's in honor of
Andrew Chico Christ, who was an avid outdoorsman and loved encouraging others, especially the younger generation, to get involved in the great outdoors. It has grown into an organization that hosts the annual Outdoor Expo in April of each year, but one that promotes outdoorsmanship year-round. They put back into the community. It's a non-profit, just a fantastic group of people. Make sure you're following everything they do on their Facebook page. Check it out and don't miss next year's Outdoor Expo, Chico Outdoors.
Oh, sorry, buddy. We got a text message from one of our sponsors.
Nice.
Our buddy over there at Bow Creek Outdoors.
How ironic is that? We just got done talking about, or we're getting ready to talk about him.
Yep, our good buddy Matt. Hey, if you guys haven't listened or watched the episodes that we have with Matt or our little TV promos that we have out there with the cameras, these things are awesome. I mean, now that we got the solar panels with these cell cameras, it's like just set them and forget them, you know? I mean, I keep saying I got to go move one off the power line we had set up for turkey season, but I'm getting all kinds of pictures of mums bringing the little fawns through there, so I don't know if I'm going to change it or not right now. You know, it's kind of cool to see them little critters, but the BC30 is the cell. It works on all three platforms.
Sir. Yep, all three providers, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, all on one SIM card, so you can pretty much put that camera wherever you want and get a signal out of it.
And then on our food plots, we're running BC32s, which is the wide angle. And I'm telling you what, the distance that these cameras take pictures at is freaking unbelievable. Like, I gotta look at pictures 2 or 3 times.
Yep, and they're clear. The image is clear.
They are clear. In the woods, these things are picking up deer at, 45, 50 yards?
Yep.
And when there's no leaves on the tree,
even farther.
Yeah. So, check them out. Bow Creek Outdoors. This is Bow Creek. Use our promotional code to get yourself, I believe it's 20% off.
I believe that's right.
TKE 20.
Yes, sir.
So that'll get you 20% off. And anytime you use a camera and you put some photos up there, just put the hashtag out Bow Creek Trail Cameras or hashtag This is Bow Creek.
Well, buddy, deer season's coming, which means riding season slows down. Doesn't end, but it slows down. So you got to go up and check out all the inventory and the new stuff that Z&M Harley-Davidson has. New bikes, used bikes, parts, clothes.
They are running some awesome deals right now on used bikes. Like, they're giving you an extra year warranty, I believe it was, I seen. They're giving you some crazy crap. Go on to Z&M's website, their new website, and check it out. I mean, they're giving you some crazy incentives to buy used bikes. So
you can do that at znmharleydavidson.com.
Yeah, go up there and see Ryan and them guys and just tell them the Keystone Experience sent you. Who else we got here, buddy? Back 40, old Roy and Bill. I was on the phone with old Roy the other day. I was talking to him about some fall planting that we're going to be doing here pretty soon, because we're going to plant a little bit here in the summer, but we're going to do a late season. Get yourself some of that Uncle Al's blend or some buck fuel. Get that planted, and we're going to have a good time this year over top of these food plots.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they're hammering them right now.
I know.
We got pictures on them, and the fawns are in there just chewing away on that good sweet clover. So check them out, Back 40 Seed Company, and use Keystone 10 to check out, or give me a holler. I got a couple bottles of stuff left here, so give me a call.
You know what we're going to use once we're done harvesting one of those critters out of them food plots?
What's that, buddy?
A Weeby knife.
A Weeby knife.
You know what they say about them, right?
What they said?
They're wicked sharp.
They are not from Boston.
No matter how you say it, at the end of the day, that is still a ridiculously sharp blade. that if you happen to break or somehow dull, which let me tell you, it is really hard to dull those. We tried all season. We used pretty much all the knives they have. They work great. The replaceable blades, if you need to get a new one, good grips. Just fantastic product.
They're awesome. And they got more than just knives too. You know, they got the multi-tool. The aprons are a blessing when you're in the fur shed. They got a fur scraper. They got a beaver tail knife. So get over there, check out Weeby Knives, and check out Weeby Trapline Adventures. You'll get to see Bob the dog and Mr. Mark out there trapping the world, man. They're all over the place. In fact, we'll get to hang out with them at the PTA.
Yes, sir.
So, Weeby Knives. Check them out. And our good buddy, Brian, he has answered everybody's, what do I want to say?
Request?
Yeah. For 1 ounce sample bottles.
Of Trapline beard oil?
Trapline beard oil.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go put an order in right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you can get yourself, I believe,
a 3-pack?
every scent that he has in the 1 ounce bottle, and I believe it's a 3-pack for, I don't know. I don't want to say because I'm probably wrong. But give Brian a holler, and I'm telling you, some of the stuff that this man's coming up with is freaking unbelievable. Smells good. You know, I'm still I'm still using the Acorn stuff from the fall. I use it out just about every day because I love the smell of it. The rustic wood. Just get on there to look it up, order it, let Brian know that you heard it on here, and stay bearded.
You know, buddy, sometimes things happen in life that we can't control. But that's what we have insurance for. Reach out to Kelton Black Agency today, Facebook, or give them a call for your commercial, auto, homeowners, farm, and life insurance needs. We've worked with Kelton before, and he'll work hard to make sure you have the best coverage possible. Give him a call for a quote or head over and see him in his new office and do business with someone who cares.
Right here in Greensburg, Mr. Kelton Black.
Representing American National.
Hey, you know what I like putting out for the deer?
What's that?
Forget Genetics.
That's one of the best minerals we've ever used.
Dude, we will no longer put any minerals out on our property unless they are Forget Genetics. And the persimmon pops and the apple jacks, just to get the animals. I to be honest with you, I don't think we got to even put that out. We just got to put the minerals out.
And you know the best thing about the minerals is if you do the You Try 5, you can find out what your animal actually likes.
Yeah, we did it at our place, and it seems like our deer love the persimmons, the sweet corn, and the acorn. They don't like the apples.
They don't, and it would have been a real shame if we'd have spent hundreds of dollars on a mineral that had apple in it for them not to eat it.
To give Barry, because they are veteran-owned, family-run. They do everything there, from the mixing straight into the bag to the delivering. Barry and his family will take care of you, and you know we support all veteran-owned companies. So from crawl to wall, we got your 6. Forget Genetics.
And we've got Gearhead Archery, rethinking tradition.
Yes, sir.
It is going to be a phenomenal bow season. We are extremely pumped to have Gearhead on and join the team here at the Keystone Experience. We're both going to be shooting the Pivot 30 this year.
Yep.
And that was a hard choice to make.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. He got so many good bows, and, I mean, from the T18 all the way up. I mean, you know, everybody sees a Gearhead bow, and they go, oh, them just them the little bows. No, he makes a full-size bow, and they all shoot unbelievable. So, get a chance, check them out, look them up, They will be down at Crick Archery, just one to try, but me and Matt will have our bows. So if we're around, you're more than welcome to shoot them. And get yourself a gearhead.
It's going to be a great season.
Dude, I can't wait to sling an arrow through something's chest with it.
Yep. So head over to gearheadarchery.com. Look at everything he's got. If you have any questions, reach out to us or reach out to Gearhead themselves. Skip will answer any question that you have. Follow along with us as we take this ride now.
And just tell Skip that you heard about it here on the Keystone Experience. We got our good buddy, old Outdoor Dan. He shoots a gearhead too.
He does.
He shoots a little one.
He does. He shoots us, I think, 24.
24 or 28. One of them two.
We should really start calling him Indoors Dan. I've seen him unfortunately hurt himself.
Yeah. Old, got that big boot on his foot. But hey, he was out changing cards and stuff the other day, so he can't really be hurting that bad.
He's been working hard anyways, getting new stuff ready for the Outdoor Call radio app.
Yes, sir.
Download it today, Android and iOS, 24/7, 365 days a year, outdoor-related content.
Outdoor-related content, some of the best giveaways you're going to find in the industry. There is, I believe, right now, there's a couple fishing trips going on. There's going to be an ice fishing trip coming up. I believe a couple whitetail hunts. So get on there, download it. Wednesdays, we're on a loop with Mr. George Lynch and Warden Watch. 24 hours. It's all three of us. Check them out. There's other great shows on there. Dan on Wednesday does the live talking about Bigfoot and Ghost. And so get on there, check it out, answer the call.
And while you got that phone in your hand, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Rob ain't got us kicked off of TikTok yet. And head over to the YouTube channel to subscribe, like, hit that bell icon.
And pay attention to all of our stuff out there, because you never know when we're going to give away a wicked sharp Weeby knife. So,
or something that might be 100% lethal.
Yeah. Pay attention. There might even be some something coming from Crick Archery. You never know.
So follow along with us. We appreciate it. Rob, take us out of here, buddy.
Hey, remember, shoot straight and keep the dirty side down.